Hi there, everyone. Can you hear me? Is the audio working okay? I hope so. Okay, it has been a long time since we've had YouTube classes, isn't it? It's been a while. I've been away for a few weeks for midterm exams and things, but we are back on the weekly basis. I'll be here for the next couple of Saturdays as well. I'm getting the message. Yes, we can hear you. Great. It's been a while since I've used this software, so I just wanted to check. Yeah, okay, we are back, and today we are talking about problems and solutions, which doesn't sound like a very Englishy topic, but it will be. You'll see. So before I even jump into the PowerPoint, before we even jump back into that, I want to know, and this is not trying to be a private question, but I want to know, what are some of people's problems here? What kind of problems are you having in your life nowadays? I will give you one of my problems that is happening at this very moment, right now. It's terrible that finally the weather is getting warm. Spring is coming. It's lovely weather, except the microdust, the misemanji, the fine dust, which means that even though the weather is nice outside, I can't go outside with my kids today. That's a big problem. So I have to solve this problem and figure out what to do. I have to figure out some kind of activities I can do with my children indoors, because they really want to go outdoors, because my daughter just got a new kickboard that she wants to try out, but we can't go outside because the microdust is just so very bad. So I'm having to figure out this problem, and I'm probably just going to do some, I don't know, drawing activities, some cooking activities with the kids, maybe something like that. Let's see. In the chat room, Luna says, I'm having financial problem because of the COVID-19 situation. Yeah, I think that's hitting a lot of people. The financial difficulties are not easy. It's just not easy. A lot of jobs are going under because people aren't going to restaurants like they used to. It's definitely affecting the financial areas a lot. I'm very lucky. I work for a cyber university, so kind of perfect situation for this, but I know that I'm very lucky. I realize that. Other people are not as lucky. Okay, I will keep reading your chat comments. I'll keep reading and seeing what kind of financial problems we're having. Or not financial problems, what kind of problems we're having. And we'll talk about some maybe possible solutions for those later. We'll try to think about what we can do. That's an activity for later. Okay, let's head over to the PowerPoint and look at a few things. First, I have a quotation from the venerable Adam Savage. Now, if you don't know who Adam Savage is, well, first, I'll let anybody in the chat room tell me. Do you know who this man is? Do you recognize him? Do you know Adam Savage? I'll wait for the chat room, see if anyone can tell me who this person is. Anybody know who Adam Savage is? I don't know. Nobody knows. Adam Savage was on a very, very, very famous TV show in America called Mythbusters. You can find some episodes and some parts of Mythbusters on YouTube. It's basically they would look at myths. They would look at popular myths, like, for example, one myth they did was, there's a myth people think that women have a higher pain threshold than men. It means that women can handle pain better than men. So they tested this. They tested this with very, 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 very icy water, putting people in there and seeing how long they could last. They did different kind of myths. They did a myth about... they do myths. There are hundreds and hundreds of episodes, so it's hard for me to think of specific ones. They did the myth of how to get out of a car. If your car crashes and goes underwater, under a lake, what's the best way to get out? They solve problems. That's what they did on this TV show. In very interesting, fun ways, they solved problems. And I really recommend looking up Mythbusters on YouTube. It's quite fun, and he still does videos on YouTube. He still does some stuff, Adam Savage. So yeah, that's what he did. I don't think he's the guy from 24. Not the same guy. So let's see what he said, and he solved many hundreds and thousands of problems in his life. He says, I've learned over decades of building that a deadline is a potent tool for problem solving. Now, potent means strong. So potent simply means strong. So I've learned over decades of building that a deadline is a strong tool for problem solving. What does he mean by this? What does he mean that a deadline is a strong tool for problem solving? Can anybody in the chat maybe tell me? I should mention this guy. He's also done lots of work in Hollywood, not as an actor, but as the VX team. Like when you see explosions and things in movies, very interesting explosions or crazy stunts or things, he designs that sort of stuff for movies like Star Wars and other very big name movies. And Luna says, if you have a deadline, you can finish something. Yeah, if you have a deadline, you have to do it. And I find that's true for my life too. I have some projects in my own personal life that don't have a deadline. And because those projects don't have a deadline, I'm not doing them. I'm procrastinating far too much. And I do have some other projects that do have deadlines, and I'm really focusing hard on those. So definitely a deadline can help you. Let's see. Chung Dawen says, yeah, you work better under pressure. People work better under pressure. And Jenny says, we have to set the deadlines to solve any problem, like time setting until we have to deal with the problem. Yeah. So if I have a deadline, I'll start working on it now. I want to finish early. I am not the kind of person who wants to wait until the last day. I hate that. But if I don't have a deadline, there is no last day. So I can keep waiting. Not a very healthy way to deal with it. Okay, so problems and solutions. Have you ever been able to do this Rubik's Cube in the picture? That's called a Rubik's Cube. I have never, ever been able to do those before. I don't know the way to do them. So that's the problem I've never been able to solve. What is a difficult problem that you can't solve? Or what kind of problems do you have to solve at your workplace? Luna says she hates that cube. Yeah, it mocks me. It makes me feel stupid because I don't know how to do it. I just don't. So let me ask again, what's a difficult problem in your life that we mentioned a little bit before, but we have some more viewers now, so maybe someone will answer. What's a difficult problem that you still can't solve in your life? Or what are some problems that you have at your workplace? I already mentioned that a problem I have at home right now is that the fine dust, the misemanji, is really, really bad right now. So I can't take my kids outside, even though they want to go outside. So I have to make a solution. How am I going to entertain my children all day? And yeah, it's not easy. Not easy with two young kids who want to go outside and play. Do you have any kind of problems that you're dealing with that you haven't found a solution yet? Maybe big problems or even small problems. It could be tiny problems. My other problem that I have, that I think a lot of people have right now, is I used to exercise a lot. People who know me will tell you that I used to go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week and exercise really hard. I really enjoyed weightlifting. But since coronavirus, I don't go to the gym because it's just not worth the risk for me. I need to exercise, but I don't have the enthusiasm to exercise at home. I don't have the equipment either. So I have to figure out, how am I going to start exercising and getting into that mindset where I know I need to exercise at home? Because I'm not ready to go to the gym yet. Coronavirus is still really bad. So that's a problem I have, exercising. Taking care of my kids, exercising, even diet. Because, yeah, So I think we all have problems that we're dealing with. Does anyone have problems at their workplace? Maybe problems that you need to deal with at your workplace. Anybody? I'm waiting for the chat, but I'm not seeing anything pop up. So I will continue on. Now, if you look on this slide, there is a YouTube URL. It's also in the description. If you want to click on it, it's in the description of this video. Don't click on it yet because, well, you need to watch me. But you can watch it later. It's talking about the psychology of problem solving. It's really interesting. And in that video, it's like a 7-minute video, they talk about 3 different problems that psychologists have used to study problem solving. And one of those problems is called the 9-dot puzzle. Now, I don't want you to watch the video yet. You can watch it later after I'm done. But I want you to look at the 9-dot puzzle. And it looks, oh, wait a minute. Where is it? Where is it? Why is it not here? It's not here. Oh my goodness, my slides are not working. This is terrible. Okay, well, my slides are not working. That's just great. Just a moment. Give me 1 second. I'm going to have to make this on my own. Okay. The 9-dot puzzle is a famous puzzle that psychologists have used to study how people problem solve. And it looks like this. You have 9 dots. Okay? 9 dots arranged in a square. And the goal, what you have to do is connect all of the dots using 4 lines that are connected. So for example, you cannot do this. You can't do that because they're not connected. It has to be one line, like you have to do it like this in a line, and you can bend or change the direction 3 times. So you have 4 lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So for example, I could try to do it like this. Just a moment. Okay, I could try to do it like this. I could try to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, I didn't connect all of them. I didn't get the middle one. So you have to connect all of the dots using 4 lines. So like 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 lines that are connected in a straight line. That is the 4-dot puzzle, and it's hard for most people to do it. It's very, very difficult for most people to do. And if you want to know the solution, how do you do it? How can you possibly connect all of these dots with 4 lines? How can you do it? You need to watch that video. You need to watch the video that I have linked in the description, and it will show you how to do it, and you will feel like me when you see it. You'll feel like an idiot because it's so simple. And I'll give you one clue how to do it. And it's a phrase that you've heard before. Think outside the box. That's how you solve the puzzle. Think outside the box. So if you really are interested in solving this 9-dot puzzle, because it's once you know how to do it, it's easy, but yeah, it makes me feel crazy because I should have seen it. And there are 2 other problems that they say that are really kind of interesting problems that make you think about problem solving and thinking out the box and being creative as you solve problems. So again, that URL, that video is in the description. It's called The Psychology of Problem Solving. I highly recommend you check it out. Okay, let me read some of the comments that have been coming in. So these are some problems that people are having. Jenny says, same like you. I am going out to work, but I can't go out these days due to the microdust problems. Even today, air quality is so bad. And today is Parents' Day and I'm supposed to go out and enjoy. Yeah, it makes me, I have this Misemanji app, and it shows like happy face if it's very good quality or sad face if it's bad quality. This is what it shows today. So we know it's very bad. That's about as bad as it gets. A gas mask. So yeah, it's very bad today. And yeah, today's Parents' Day. Can't really do anything. Jenny also says, getting the corona vaccine is another problem. Oh man, yeah, no kidding. Getting the corona vaccine is another problem as well. There are some scary side effects on some vaccines, and we don't have enough good vaccine. Yeah, people are saying there's some side effects. I'm not going to get into the politics of this. I know that some other countries are still using the AstraZeneca. My family, my parents have gotten the AstraZeneca and been completely fine. They live in the UK. My brothers received the Pfizer vaccines, maybe AstraZeneca for my dad. My whole family's vaccinated because they live in America and the UK. But still, we don't have any vaccines here. It's frustrating. I would like to travel again, but we're not getting vaccines. Luna says, it's not my case, but at my husband's workplace, 4 of his team members out of 6 are infected with COVID. Wow. And my husband is now on paternity leave, but he has to go back by next month. 4 out of 6. Your husband got lucky that he didn't get sick. Wow. Yeah, I've been worried that we would have an outbreak at our university, but it hasn't happened. We're a cyber university, so it's not like everyone's packed into the offices every day. We're taking precautions. People are not going to the office every day so that we can keep the numbers low, so there's not too many people together at the same time. We're still wearing masks in the office. Being very careful. So we've been lucky. Let's see. Chung Daewon says, oh, so many now with kids being at home now. I never knew I was this impatient and quick to get mad. Yeah, welcome to my life. That's my life. I have some people, some friends telling me, single friends, that say, oh, coronavirus period, this has been the best time of my life. I just stay home and play video games and enjoy life. That's not my case. It's especially when there's like an outbreak or when the numbers get really high and Yutsiwan and Northern Egypt shut down temporarily, life gets very difficult because having kids home all day, every day is not easy. For a while, my daughter had Zoom classes. She had Zoom, like this kind of video class with her Yuchiwan, which is also difficult to do because we have to get her in front of the computer, and yeah, it's just not easy. Not easy with young kids during coronavirus. Let's see. And David says, thinking outside the box. Yeah, so if you want to solve that 9-dot problem, I really recommend looking at that video in the description. It will tell you how to solve it. I'm not going to tell you here. But yeah, my clue is think outside the box. Let's see. Jenny says, yes, I have that app too. We call it Devil's Face. I call it the Dokebi Face for my kids. Let's see. Luna says, oh my God, thank you, Jenny. I didn't call my parents yet. Yeah, call your parents. It's Parents' Day. We don't have Parents' Day in the West, in UK or America. We have Mother's Day. Do we have Father's Day? I don't think we have really Father's Day. We just have Mother's Day. Fathers kind of don't get much. Let's see. Luna says, yes, my husband is okay because he is still at home, but he needs to go to work from next month, so I'm a little bit worried about that. Yeah, it's worrying. It's worrying going outside and doing things. I have not eaten at a restaurant. Like, we've ordered restaurants or picked up food, but I have not sat down and eaten inside of a restaurant in more than a year. It's been more than a year since I've eaten in a restaurant. That's crazy. Same for a coffee shop. I haven't sat down in a coffee shop for a long time. Okay. So, let's move on to some ways that we can problem solve. So here's the first step to problem solving, and that is identify the problem. I know that sounds easy, but it really is the first step in solving a problem. You have to identify what is the problem. What is the problem that you need to solve? So for me, I'm going to talk about my problem of not exercising because I can't go to the gym, or I choose not to go to the gym because I think it's still too dangerous for me. That's my problem. I'm not exercising. I'm getting lazy. I'm feeling the effects. I used to be stronger. I used to be able to run and not breathe so hard. But now just walking upstairs, I can feel that I'm not in good shape. So that's my problem. I'm not in shape. That's my problem. So in this case, in this picture, I have my problem is that I need to pack more clothes in my suitcase, but they won't fit. So that's the first problem. I'm sure that we've all had this problem when you're going on a trip, on a holiday, and you need to pack lots of clothes. Maybe you just can't get everything in your suitcase, or your suitcase is too heavy. So this is the first problem. Identify the problem. Let's see. Next, list the possible solutions. So what are the possible solutions for this suitcase dilemma? Well, one thing you could do, you could roll the clothes instead of folding them. When you roll them up, like in the picture, it tends to use less space. So you could roll them up and pack them in differently, and that might work better. Or you could use vacuum sealed bags to suck the air out of the clothes. So these vacuum sealed bags, these are like these big plastic bags that you can put clothes or pillows or things in, and you hook up a vacuum cleaner and it sucks the air out, and the bag gets very, very, very small and compact because it sucks the air out. So these vacuum sealed bags, when I was traveling back and forth between the UK and Korea more often, I was using these vacuum sealed bags because I had to bring like winter clothes, like sweaters and big jackets and jumpers. Take up a lot of room in the suitcase, but with vacuum sealed bags, no problem. So these are some possible solutions. You need to list out the possible solutions. Okay, and next is evaluate the options. So we've listed the options, but now we need to think which one is best. So here's a picture of that vacuum sealed bag I was talking about. You can put them all in the bag, hook up a vacuum cleaner, and suck the air out. Now, this is a great option for like big winter clothes, big puffy jackets or pillows or blankets or something. But for summer clothes, for just t-shirts or jeans, this doesn't really work well. It's not a good option. Also, if you don't have vacuum sealed bags, it might be expensive. They're not too expensive, but if you don't have a vacuum cleaner, that's a problem because these don't work without a vacuum cleaner. So you need to think about your best options and what will work better for you. So maybe if you don't have a vacuum cleaner or you're packing summer clothes, rolling the clothes will be an easier thing to try. And then we select the option. So we finally select rolling the clothes. So if you look at the picture, when you fold the clothes, it takes up more space. Rolling the clothes, there's a little bit of extra space in that suitcase now. It's not quite as packed. So you identify the problem, you list out the options, you evaluate the options, and then you select an option. You try to figure out which one you're going to do. Finally, if you really want to be pedantic, if you really want to be careful, you can document the solution and try it. So you can try to roll the clothes, but maybe they don't fit. Maybe even after rolling the clothes, they don't fit. In which case, you can try the vacuum sealed bags. But maybe even that won't help. In which case, you need to find a different solution. Maybe the solution will be pack fewer clothes. Maybe you just need to get rid of some things and not pack everything. And if the first solution doesn't work, go back to step 4 and try again. Try one of the other options. So maybe vacuum sealing or just tossing some of the clothes and not having them. Try something different. Yeah, simple. David says, how about bringing less clothes? I think simple is the best. I agree. Simple is usually best. Simple is almost always the best. Simple is the best. Speaking of simple is the best, I'll teach you an interesting, say a psychology trick? I don't think it's a psychology trick. It's a thing that scientists use when talking about possible solutions or possible answers. It's called Occam's Razor. Has anyone ever heard of this, Occam's Razor? Anyone ever heard of Occam's Razor? Do you know what this is? It might even be called this in Korean. I'm not sure how it translates into Korean. Okay, Occam's Razor. Occam's Razor is a good thing to have. I often think about it when I'm talking about things with my wife or with other people. Occam's Razor means that the simplest answer is usually the right one. So what this means is if you're sitting maybe outside, and this is going to be a crazy example, but just try to stay with me. This is a crazy example. But say that you're sitting outside on a warm day and you hear like a horse. You hear a horse running. Now you can think, is that a horse? Or is that a zebra? I can't see it yet. I can hear it, but it could be a horse. It could be a zebra. It's more likely that it's a horse because zebra are so much more rare. You're not going to see a zebra running around. But a horse is more common. So the simplest answer is usually the correct one. You can also use Occam's Razor if you're a hypochondriac. A hypochondriac, maybe some of you are hypochondriacs. I know some hypochondriacs in my life. A hypochondriac is a person who always thinks they are really sick. So it's a person who always thinks, oh, I'm dying. I have cancer. Oh no, I have a headache. What if it's brain cancer? That's a hypochondriac. So a thing to tell a hypochondriac is probably not cancer. It's probably just a headache. You didn't drink any caffeine today. You usually drink 3 cups of coffee. Today you haven't had any coffee. It's probably just a caffeine headache, not brain cancer. Occam's Razor says the simplest solution is probably the right one. So that's Occam's Razor. Simplest solution is usually the right thing to do, or the right thing to assume. This is opposite of, kind of opposite of Murphy's Law. I don't know why I'm talking about these, but these are interesting. Do you know Murphy's Law? If you saw the movie Interstellar, they talked about Murphy's Law. Does anyone know Murphy's Law? It might be more common than Occam's Razor. You know that one. Luna knows that one. What does Murphy's Law say? And again, this is talking about problems and solutions, because Occam's Razor talks about solutions. Murphy's Law talks about problems. Anyone, what does Murphy's Law say? Everyone's saying I know that one. Yes, but tell me, what does it mean? Hard to explain. Yeah, I guess it could be hard to explain in English. Basically, it means if something can go wrong, it will go wrong. If something could be a problem, it probably will be a problem. Okay, Jenny says, okay, then I should follow it and apply it to my solution. The simplest in life is the best. And Murphy's Law is if you think anything go wrong, it will. Perfect, Jenny. That's exactly the answer I wanted. If you think something will go wrong, it will. Yeah, that's Murphy's Law. Okay, let's continue back to my PowerPoint. And we're looking at a survival situation. So, I want you to imagine that you are stranded on an island, your plane has crashed or your boat has crashed, and you're stuck on this island. Maybe it's just you, maybe it's you and one other person, I don't know. What are the first 3 things you should do to survive? So this is your problem. Your problem is clear. You're stuck on an island, alone. Let's say alone. You're stuck on an island alone. What should you do? What are the first 3 things you should do to ensure that you survive? So, stuck on an island. What's the first 3 things you should do? What should you do if you're stuck on an island? The problem is you're stuck on an island. You got nothing. What can you do to survive? Make an SOS sign. Good, SOS. You know what SOS means? Does anyone know where SOS comes from? With stones or branches. Good. Find water, food, place to stay, Jung Da-woon says. Yeah, water is the most important. Water is super important. People think about food, but water. You can live for a month, even more, without food. You can't live for more than a few days without water. Let's see, and Han Suk Jung says, find food and water first. Yeah, but it's not so easy on an island to find water. You might be able to find water, but salt water is bad. People never really understand why is salt water bad. Why is it bad? But salt water, the salt reacts with your kidneys, and actually, you know, your kidneys in your body clean the blood and clean the blood in your body. That's what they do. And it takes, it uses water to clean your body. It uses water. That's why you pee, to get rid of stuff. But it uses more water to clean ocean water, the salt out of ocean water, than you drink. So it's hard to explain, but if you're drinking ocean water, seawater, your body is using more water than you drink to clean that seawater. So it's actually, the more seawater you drink, the more dehydrated you will become. That's why you should never, ever drink seawater, salt water, if you're in a situation like that. It will kill you, because your body, you'll be worse. You'll be worse and worse and worse. Not better, better, better. Let's see. Han Suk Jung says, make a ship. Okay. That's a big solution. That's going to be difficult. First, try to think I can survive for a week. Have positive thinking. Positive thinking is good. Yeah, in that kind of situation, you need some positive thinking, because it's going to be very difficult to stay positive. And then try to get what I need on the island. Good. These are good thoughts. Very good thoughts. It's not easy to think about what we would do on an island. But yeah, definitely finding water. Definitely, I think the SOS sign is good. And by the way, SOS stands for, let me write this down, Save Our Ship. It was used originally for like ships, for boats. Save Our Ship. It was the Morse code, because it's the easiest Morse code to send. The Morse code just looks like, let's see if I can do it here. It's that Morse code. It's very, Very simple. Let's see. David says, throw out your clothes out of the vacuum pack, making water with it. So you're using the vacuum pack that we talked about earlier. That's pretty smart. Okay, because yeah, you could use plastic to collect water when it rains. Save Our Soul. It might have transitioned into that, but I think maybe Save Our Soul, maybe. But I think it was originally Save Our Ships, but maybe Save Our Souls too. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Save Our Soul. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Everyone's saying Save Our Soul. I have to research it. Okay, so good. I was going to say SOS sign is good. I would make a fire. Smoke. You can see from very far away. Make a fire with smoke. Then people can see it, even if they don't fly right over my island. Okay, good. These are some good thoughts about survival situations. Now let's look over some phrases we can use to talk about problems. To talk about problems or solutions. Now, here is one. I'm reading some of the chat. No, you can't. I'm not sure what no, you can't is referring to. Save our ship makes sense too. Save our soul. Big animals can come to you. Big animals? So I'm guessing you don't want big animals to come? I want big animals to come if I'm stuck on an island because I will fight them and eat them. Fire. So you can't do fire because the big animals will come. Bring the big animals. You need food. Fight the big animals. I don't know. Okay. So this phrase, to talk over something. So this is a phrasal verb that means to discuss a problem to find a possible solution. Now, when we think about phrasal verbs, you've probably heard this term before, phrasal verb. A phrasal verb is a verb, like talk, and then a preposition, like over. But the thing is that with phrasal verbs, it means something different from the literal meaning. So talk over means to go on top. We're not literally talking on top of something. That's not what this means. Like a very famous phrasal verb is shut up, which means to be quiet. You're not saying to shut up. It literally, phrasal verbs don't make sense. But they make that, yeah. It's hard to describe phrasal verbs because if you think about them literally, they don't make sense. So this is another case. Talk over something doesn't mean to talk on top of something. So it means to discuss a problem. So my example sentence is, let's talk over this problem tomorrow. Okay, save our sandwiches. I like that, Jenny. Please write in the chat an example sentence using talk over something, talk over a problem, talk over a discussion, talk over anything. Please write a sentence in the chat using to talk over something. We have 4 more phrases like this to discuss. We're going to talk about 5 different phrases we can use. So please, please, please write a sentence in the chat. Okay, while you're working on that, I Googled. You can see that. Save our ship. SOS. But there's another link that says that it could also mean save our souls. But the first thing when I type Google, it's save our ship. So I'm claiming I'm right. I'm right. Haha. Okay. Jenny says, I know you were angry. Let's talk it over tonight. Good. That's a good example. Let's talk it over tonight. We talked over on the phone all night long. you need an object after talk over. So we talked over it. We talked over the problem. We talked over that. You need an object after over. We talked over something. So you could say, we talked over it on the phone all night long. Let's see. Kids, sit down and let's talk over this problem now because mommy is going crazy. Yeah, I know that feeling. Okie dokie. Let's go to the next phrase. To think through something. Again, another phrasal verb. To think through something. So this phrasal verb means to think about a problem to find a possible solution. So, yes, we just think about a problem to find a possible solution. To think through a problem means you're thinking about possible solutions. So my example sentence is, I'm not sure how we can solve this, so let's think through this problem. Let's think through this problem. Give me a sentence using to think through something. Now remember, after through, you need an object. Just like the previous one, you must have, like, talk over something, talk over it, talk over this. You need an object here too. Think through something, think through a problem, think through it. Give me a sentence using this phrasal verb, please. Jenny says, I had thought it all through. Good. I had thought it all through. She had thought about all the possible solutions. We can also use this phrase if someone has found a solution and is doing it. Like if I'm at my work, at my job, and we had a problem and someone is doing the solution. They found a solution and they're working on it, but it's not working. It's a disaster. It's really not working. I can look at that person and say, did you think this through? Did you actually think through this? I mean, yeah. So it's common when a solution is not working and it's really bad to ask the person, did you really think this through? Very common to say that. Okay, let's look at some of the sentences. I have to think through every little detail so I won't forget about it. Great, great sentence. I need time to think it through. All of these sentences are perfect, absolutely perfect. No problems at all. Good, good, good. Any more? Any more? Any more? I need to think through this problem. Okay. Good, 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 good. Now, our next one. Next phrasal verb. To run into problems. So, to run into a problem or run into a difficulty. We usually say run into problems, though. So this means that you meet new problems usually after trying a solution. So like, for example, to run into problems. I'll give you an example. I talked earlier about I used to go to the gym a lot, and now I'm not exercising. I try to exercise at home, but I keep running into problems. For one, it's just difficult to find time to exercise at home because I don't live alone. I have many people living here, and it's just difficult to find time or energy, because I'm exhausted, to exercise. Another problem that I run into is even when I do find time to exercise, if my kids are here, they think that it's climb on top of Papa time. So if I'm like doing push-ups, they climb on top of me, or go underneath me, or I am their playground, basically. So that's another problem that I have. So I keep running into these problems even though I'm trying to solve them. So, my example sentence in this slide is, we have been running into problems with this new system. We've been running into problems with this new maybe software or computer system. So please, please, please give me a sentence using run into problems. What kind of problems are you running into? And let me read some of the chat. Chung Dawn says, I need to think through this problem. Great. David says, she thought through his suggestion. Great. Absolutely no problems with those sentences. That's awesome. Now give me some sentences with to run into problems. Where are you running into problems in your life? Chung Dawn says, I keep running into problems every day now. Let me say something very quickly. If you look at the chat right now, is it this side? I don't know. I'm not this side maybe. Chung Dawn says, I keep running into problems every day now. If you look at that every day, most people don't know this. Even don't feel bad, Chung Dawn. This is a problem that even native speakers make. Every day, every day and every day are different. They're not the same. So every day is only used as an adjective before a noun. For example, you can say, let's see, eating too many sweets is an everyday problem for me. So you see that every day is in front of problem there. It's an everyday problem. That's when we use it as one word. But if you say, for example, I eat too many sweets every day, then you need it as two words. Okay. Sorry for the quick grammar lesson. I just wanted to point that out. And that's a problem that even native speakers make. So don't worry about it. You might hear my children going crazy in the other room. Okay, let me look at some of the other things. Luna says, it seems like we keep running into problems if we keep using plastic. Yeah, we will keep running into problems if we keep using plastic, definitely. Plastic bags, things that we can't really recycle, those are definitely big problems. Jenny says, when I try to start a new plan, I always run into a new problem. Good. These are great sentences. Jenny also says, the business ran into another financial problem. Great, great, great. You guys definitely know how to use this. So let's move on to the next one because we're running out of time. So to deal with something, another phrasal verb, to deal with something. So to deal with something means to try to solve a problem that you ran into while trying to find a solution. So the one that we just talked about, running into a problem, when you run into a problem, you need to solve it or you need to deal with it. So you need to deal with things. Another thing that we sometimes do in colloquial English, so that's like informal spoken English, is if I'm, what's a good situation I can give? If it's kind of rude to say this, so you would normally say it if you're fighting with someone or arguing. Maybe if you're arguing with your boss and you're saying your boss has asked you to work on the weekend. Your boss has said, I need you to work on Saturday. I need you to work on Saturday. And you say, I can't work on Saturday. I'm supposed to go on a trip with my family on the weekend. And your boss says, I'm sorry, I need you to work on Saturday. This is really important. And you say, well, I don't know what to do. And your boss might get angry and just say, deal with it. Just deal with it. It means you have to do it. Find a solution. You need to work on Saturday. So you could make a long sentence and say, you need to deal with this problem. But if you say just 3 words, deal with it, it's kind of rude, but we say that sometimes. You might hear it in movies or TV shows when people are arguing. So why don't you write a sentence using deal with? And Luna already has one. I need some time to deal with him. Good. So you need to deal with this person because They're causing problems. I need to deal with them. I need to deal with this. Any other sentences? Anything else? Let's see. Jenny says the best way to deal with a problem is to find the simplest solution. Great. Good. You don't need that second I in simplest though. So that's the only thing. But that's perfect. Perfect sentence. You're talking about what we talked about earlier. That is an amazing sentence. Great. Anyone else? I'll wait just a few seconds for another sentence because I have one more phrase for you and we're running out of time. I don't see any more sentences. So let's go on. If I see another sentence, I'll read it. So my last phrasal verb is to wrestle with something. Now, of course, wrestling means to like grab someone and like throw them on the ground and fighting, basically. But this is more thinking about grabbing an idea or grabbing a problem and trying to solve it. So it's kind of imagine wrestling with a problem. So this phrasal verb means to explain how difficult a certain part of the solution was. So if you're using it in past tense. So look at my example sentence. I really wrestled with my PowerPoint. And we often use this in the past tense. I really wrestled with my PowerPoint. So it means that I really had a difficult time making it work. I had many problems. I ran into many problems with my PowerPoint. But in the end, it worked. So I really wrestled with my PowerPoint. So to wrestle with something. Can you give me a sentence? Luna's asking me a question. I have a question, but Professor, were you in TBS radio? No, I wasn't. I have not been on radio. Should I be? I don't know. I have had people tell me that I have a face perfect for radio. If you understand that joke, tell me in the chat room. I have a face perfect for radio. So maybe I should be in radio. Jung Dawn got it. Good. I'm glad someone got that joke. So give me a sentence with wrestle. Let's see. Luna says, I like to wrestle with my work. Okay, good. I have been wrestling with this problem for a long period of time. That's better. It's good to have past tense or present perfect in that sentence. I have been wrestling. Present perfect, progressive. Yes, we usually use this when talking about a problem in the past. You don't need to wrestle with it. Good, that works too. It means don't try too hard. Don't work too hard on this. Don't wrestle with it. Okay, great. Yeah, that's about all I have for you today. Thank you for joining me. I think I'll be here next week too. I do have a little problem that you can help me with. I know that these videos don't get a lot of views. I know that. Like right now we have, I don't know, like 14 people watching maybe. But what does help us get some more views, and I know if you watch YouTube, you hear people say this all the time, but it's because it's true. If you click the like button, the like thumbs up, it helps us because the YouTube algorithm, if you get more likes, it will show it to more people. So it helps more people to see this. And yeah, if more people see this, that would be nice. Maybe more people in the class next time will have more chat going on. So yeah, if you can click that like button, if you haven't done it yet, that would really help. Okay, and that's all from me today. Let's see. Let me look at the chat one more time. Luna says, I was listening to it there. There was a man and his voice was just like you. And the host called him Joshua. Well, maybe I have a twin somewhere. I don't know. But I have not been on radio. Yeah. Great. Thank you all very much. Have a lovely day. And after lunch, I think, there will be more professors with more YouTube. So keep watching for that and have a great weekend. Bye.